What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel, the most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang. In here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Holmes. What is up, dude?
What's going on, Garrett? Sorry, it's kind of hard to see you. It's a little too sunny out over here on Destiny Island.
I was gonna say, it looks like you're on the beach somewhere. I thought maybe you came out to San Diego, but you're on Destiny Islands. What the?
Yeah, just decided to come and hang out for a little bit and
see some
soak up some rays. Yeah, so forgive me if it's I'm trying to see you, but just a little bright.
No, it's all good. It's all maybe you need some sunglasses, or maybe
a hat of some kind.
If you had an SGB hat, that's right. Super Gamer Boys bucket hat. That would help keep some sun out of your eyes.
Boy, that would be real helpful at a time like this.
That would be.
Where could I get one?
You could get one at sgbstore.com alongside. Hey, if you want to take a dip as well, if you're like, hey, you know what? Let's enjoy this ocean. Boy, we got some swim trunks for you. We got blue ones, or if you like the pink of this hat, we got some pink ones as well. So yeah, we could hook you up, dude. If you want to go do some swimming, get some sweet sgbstore.com swim trunks. You got a hat, or if you're just cruising around town and you're like, hey, I want to look cool. I want to look, summery. Get out your SGB Summer Gamer Boy shirt, starring yours truly, and sick design in the back. We got it in black and sand color. Or we got this sick 80s neon aesthetic. Check this out. This one's my favorite. I like this one. Look at the back.
It's so good, dude.
Look at the back on that. Summer Gamer Boys. It's bright. It's colorful. It's got a fun little sun design on there. Get those beach vibes going. Love it. Love to see it. That's right. Our Summer Gamer Boys merch is finally out. We've been teasing it for so long, and I was planning on getting out so much sooner. You know what? 4th of July.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
What better day than 4th of July? That's the most summery day of the year, some might say. Lots of barbecues going on. No one had anything else better to do, right, than shop on our store. So
there you go.
sgbstore.com. Get our new Summer Gamer Boys merch. There's more stuff. In fact, if you're feeling a little thirsty, maybe you've been out in the sun a little too long, pick yourself up Summer Gamer Boys glass. That's right. Check that out. Also with our faces, because our egos are the size of the Empire State Building.
We are just nailing this marketing rollout, this campaign. Who needs a firm? Who needs a marketing firm? We got this.
We got this. We got stuff for kiddos too. Go check it out. I got stuff. I got some pics of me and my son wearing our sick merch. We got a couple different glasses. We got a pin set. Pin set actually came out pretty sick. I was pretty stoked. I usually am not one to I don't really care much for pins, but when I got these as to sample them out, I'm like, oh, these are actually kind of sick. I put them on my little, I have I don't know, I think it's designed to be like a fanny pack, hip bag or whatever, but I wear it across my chest or whatever. I'm like, heck yeah, I got these Summer Gamer Boys pins on my chest. Love it.
Put them on there.
It's good stuff. Go check it out, sgbstore.com. There's a lot of stuff from the new collection, and the classics are back. So if you still want our retro logo t-shirt or dad hat or what have you, stickers, they're all over there. So go check it out, sgbstore.com. It feels so good to have it out, man. It's been months of working on this.
Fruits of labor.
It feels good. It feels good. What started as a simple doodle of the day in my sketchbook, it looked really terrible, honestly. I'd love to I should post the original sketch. It's not great. And then the concept for a t-shirt that I drew out was also not great. And then for it to turn into what it is, I'm like, oh wow, it's amazing how it can look like total piece of garbage on the paper. But once you get it, the finished product, you're like, okay, I got something here.
Little elbow grease.
Gets there.
Do a body good.
Oh man. So go buy our stuff, please. Cause it helps us keep doing cool stuff on the channel. It's not like we just pocket the money and run away. Anything you buy from sgbstore.com goes towards buying equipment to keep the show running, buying games that we can review on the show. Heck, maybe we'll start saving up and so we can finally do a trip to like, I don't know, we keep talking about like, oh, let's meet up at PAX or let's meet up at, let's go to Super Nintendo World and at Universal Studios. And maybe this is how we defund those things.
I am still standing on that's going to happen. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it's going to happen.
Oh, if I get a job, yes, it needs to happen. But that's what I'm saying here. So if you buy our merch, all those things could happen a lot sooner. Maybe we can make it like put all the profits. I mean, that is the plan already. Profits go right back to Super Gamer Boys. So please think about going over sgbstore.com. We'll talk more about that later on the show, though. We should probably get into it here. We're a bit into the show. You've heard enough about our awesome, sick summer merch. So today, we're going to be talking about how there will be plenty of Switch 2s in the wild. Don't even worry about it. Crazy Taxi's going Open-world MMO. That's interesting. And new Residen Evil may be in the works. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumble Smash and Get Jumbo 01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mom and Bear, and Carrie. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive show, Super Later Boys, and previous seasons of Super Gamer Book Club. Everything's over there. If you want to listen to any of our shows ad-free, think about supporting us there just at $1. And there's more perks from there. But again, we'll talk more about that later on the show during our Patreon ad. One more thing I do want to throw out there is if you are a Patreon subscriber or a Twitch subscriber, you get 5% discount on our merch. So if you go to sgbstore.com, you'll notice it has like a little thing like Twitch subscribers get 5% off. So that's built right into the platform. So you just log into your Twitch account and then boom, you get 5% off our merch.
Bang, discount.
And if you support us on Patreon, there's a post on there with a code you have to type in. So support us, get the code, get 5% off, win-win. Get sick content and a discount on the merch. So sgbstore.com. All right. Huge shout out here I want to give to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on our show. Thank you all so much for allowing us. Today we're listening to Yate and Jack Sriracha. Be sure to go show them some love over on Apple Music and Spotify. Link should be in the show description on YouTube and podcast apps if you're watching live. Sorry, I was trying to figure it out. I should figure that out. I should make a command if I was smart.
At some point, yeah.
If only we had a moderator. If only our mod was actually
who
watching
shows up
the stream
every time. That'd be nice.
Yeah, in the last 10 minutes of the show, all of a sudden Lula's gonna stroll and be like, "Oh, hey, you guys need anything?" No, we talk smack about.
No,
She's
we're
great.
okay.
She's
We're
great.
good, Lula.
She's
Thank
great.
you.
All right. I think it's now time to check the mail.
Fire it up.
But before we fire up Super Gamer Bot, I have a physical mail submission. All right, that's not entirely true. I didn't get an actual letter in the mail, but we got a form submission from our website, which is basically the same thing as might as well be snail mail, you know? So someone went over to supergamerboys.com, which, if you didn't realize, we do have a website called supergamerboys.com that basically links you to all of our shows that we have. Anything you can find on YouTube or podcast apps. It's just an easier way to find it quick and easy. But there's also a form submission there. And someone, for the first time in ages, wrote into it. Wrote it a couple weeks ago. I forgot to read it last week. So here we are. We got a letter from, I don't know if it's Roger or Randy, because on the form it said Randy. At the end of the letter it says Roger. So is Randy a nickname for Roger? Is that a thing? I don't know. No, well, maybe they can write in again and clarify.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know. But they say, Super Gamer Boys, long-time listener, first time reaching out. We have to address something here. I know you guys don't have any love for PSVR 2 and PlayStation Portal, but hear me out. I find it rather interesting how PSVR 2 is selling so poorly when I literally use it every day to play all of my PS5 non-VR games. I'm kind of wondering if most people don't know that you can use the cinematic mode to play any PS5 game on a huge 226-inch flat screen, as if you were sitting in the second row of a movie theater. From God of War to Spider-Man 2 to Final Fantasy Rebirth, it's completely blissful and euphoric to put on a headset, headphones, and recline away to visit another world without all the motion sickness that comes with regular VR. Surprisingly for me, seeing your character on screen doesn't produce any kind of nausea effect. I have found this completely liberating, and this method of playing encourages a targeted, locked-in experience unlike any other. Have any of you tried the cinematic mode on PSVR 2? Bouncing from the portal, which works almost flawlessly for me most of the time. There's so many qualifiers.
That's not what that means. That's not what that phrase means.
Almost flawlessly.
I get what you're saying.
Most of the time. Yeah, no, we get what you're saying. This is funny. The first time I read that, I'm like, it kind of made me chuckle a bit. To the PSVR 2, I haven't played a game on my TV since the PSVR 2 came out. The last couple of years. Straight up just Portal or PSVR 2. I was listening to another podcast, and when they asked what system they played Alan Wake 2 on, he replied, PSVR 2. I laughed out loud and exclaimed, there's another one out there. Thanks for the show each week, and remember, I'll be keeping up with the games with you all on PSVR 2, baby. Roger, or Randy, who knows? Roger from New York, as well as someone else in your age bracket. So, someone else... They're 30s from good old New York. So,
all right. Well,
shout out to Roger. And I just thought it was interesting because a couple weeks ago we talked about the news story how PSVR 2 is dead. And I just want to answer. He did ask if we've ever used the cinematic mode, and I obviously don't have a PSVR 2, but when I had PSVR 1, I love the cinematic mode. I was telling Adrian before the show actually. When I first got the PSVR, I was living in a studio apartment with my wife, and the bed was like 5-6 feet from the TV. It's a very small apartment, and all right, having the TV on all night playing video games would not make her happy. She had to wake up super early for work, so she'd go to bed. I'd be like, I want to play some games. Dude, cinematic mode was the best because I could turn off the TV, have the headset on, be playing whatever I want to play. And not have to deal with fighting, with having issues with stuff.
Not have to have the whole apartment lit up.
Sorry, I'm doing a quick
like
headphone
a Main
swap
Street.
here. My battery just died on my headphones.
Oh.
Give me 1 second, Adrian, if you're trying to talk to me.
No, you're good. I was just saying, while you swap headphones, that I hope that it didn't have to look like Main Street in your apartment just because the TV had the whole apartment lit up like Times Square.
I mean, that's basically, it's such a small room with like white reflective walls. It was like the cheap, crappy paint on the walls. It was like you turn on the TV, it's just like, poof, So yeah, 100%. So popping on that VR headset was fantastic. I put headphones in, like she couldn't hear it, couldn't see it, nothing. And it was fun. It was a really cool feature. I didn't use it like all the time, but definitely for those instances, it was really cool feature. But I don't know, like I thought it was interesting. And again, Adrian, we chatted a little bit about this before the show. You made a really good point with him with the purchase, like with this use case, it makes sense, right? Like,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So we were talking, like you said, we were talking about it beforehand, and I said, one of the biggest things that we talk about as like a sticking point for PSVR 2 is the price point, right? But in Roger, I'm just going to say Ranger because we don't know who it is.
Ranger.
In Ranger's case, right? When you think about the cost of a TV, a really good TV that, you can appreciate PS5, next gen, ultra HD content on, you're looking for at least $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, right? And that's not even like the super high end stuff. That's just like a decent TV.
Yeah.
So if you think about the fact that PSVR 2 is only about $550 and you get 2 OLED screens that'll blow up content and still look extremely good, that is actually a win-win. You save $1,000, right? Overall.
Yeah, it's basically a third of the cost.
Right. And you get a much bigger screen than anything you can essentially buy on the market today. So in his case, PSVR 2 makes perfect sense because he said that's all he plays games on. So he's absolutely getting his money worth. But the only thing with the market in that is that he is 0.00013% of not only the user base of PSVR 2, well, he's actually probably like 20% of the PSVR.
I know there's not a lot out there, so he actually might be.
But there's not enough people with his same use case to justify using or buying PSVR 2s at that amount of time. And I feel like just the train has left the station for it. But I don't mean that disparagingly, right? I mean, like in Ranger's case, right? I am stoked that he's getting his money's worth and his use worth out of this product.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it is the perfect fit for him. And I'm more power to you. As long as it works for you, keep doing it. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're gaming the way you want to and it's advantageous for you, I'm fine with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I said that before. I said PSVR 2 it's a great piece of kit. It's an impressive piece of kit. It's just not supported and it's too expensive for the way the average player is going to use it.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, I thought it was brilliant. After reading that, I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Because I had the first PSVR and that's how I used it for a long time.
I did too.
So when it was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. That is like a great way to use it. You know, obviously, like in my case, it's like, all right, that doesn't work great for my case. But man, for those who does, like, it is kind of perfect. I just thought that, like, and when you mentioned like the price point of like what a TV would be, I'm like, oh yeah, a third of the cost, and you get your own like personal like movie theater screen. Heck yeah,
pretty much. So,
pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for writing in, Roger. We appreciate that. And even though you play PlayStation Portal, I don't know what the deal with that is. We still got to work on that. I can accept your usage.
He doesn't want to wear the headset every time. Even if he bought the Portal and the PSVR, that's still what, half of what he would have had to pay for a TV.
I can accept the usage of the PSVR 2 as a giant movie theater screen, but PlayStation Portal, when like the Steam Deck is right there. The Steam Deck's right there.
The Steam Deck is also $200 more, dude.
I mean, if you go get the top of the line OLED one, yeah, I guess so. There's a middle range one, which is like maybe only like $100 more, and then there's the standard one if you don't want the OLED. But I mean, it's worth getting the OLED.
Yeah, but if I only play PlayStation games, which it sounds like Ranger does, right? Like he has the whole PlayStation suite.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna get the Portal.
Yeah.
It works with all the rest of my stuff. So
that's true. It's just PC gaming, dude. You just can't beat it. Like right now, the Steam sale's going on. I just wish PlayStation would have sales like that, right? Like I bought a game the other day.
They do. The sales aren't deep enough. That's what. Yeah,
they're like, that's what's crazy. Like Steam sale is like, all right, like this. I forget what game I was looking at, but it was the same game was on sale right now on Steam for their summer sale, and PlayStation is also having a summer sale. But it was like $3 on Steam, and it was still like $15 over on PlayStation. And I was like, $15's a great price, but like $3? Like, okay, I'm in. I'll pick that up. Man, I don't know how they do. I don't know how.
Steam was like, hey, you know this $60 game? You want it for a ham sandwich? We'll take it right now for these next 2 weeks. You better figure it out. I don't know how they make
any money over there. It's wild, but it's great. I love it. It's like the Wild West. All right. We can boot up Super GamerBot now. Let's see.
I forgot we didn't do that.
Here we go.
Yo, plebes, what's new? Just finished my Summer Gamer Boys merch order. Thank goodness I special ordered the AI computer size slim trunks. Although I have questions about my employee discount. Anyway, here's some mailbag questions. Ready?
Yeah, about that employee discount. I mean, Super GamerBot, if you subscribe on Twitch, you get that 5% off.
You can't do GamerBot like that. He works just like we do. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We got to make some money over here, right? We can't be giving stuff away. Oh man,
they are a hardworking employee, and they deserve. They deserve. We actually should have gave them a freebie on this one.
But the thing is, the larger the size goes, the more expensive it gets. In AI computers sized swim trunks. I can't even imagine how much that would cost. I don't know. Or
We'll have to get with the distributor and figure it out.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll talk to Fourth Wall and see what they can do for us.
Hey, I know you make people clothes, but do you make possibly garments for AI supercomputers?
Oh man, I see it now. Our next merch line needs to be a picture of Super Gamerbot just chilling on a beach in their swim trunks from this year. That's next year's summer line. Is just, Super Gamerbot takeover. Oh man. All right, go ahead and give us that first question, please, Super Gamerbot.
Hopheaded asks, if you could have any retro video game remade today, which game would you pick and who would you have develop it? My answer is Zelda 2, Adventure of Link with Team Cherry developing it.
Oh, very good one. Very good. Zelda 2, Adventure. Now, Zelda 2 is generally, I feel like a lot of people don't like that one, right? That's kind of like the...
People like it, they just don't like it nearly as much as the first one. It's
okay.
A different perspective, right? It's a side scroller where the first Zelda wasn't, and it's also way harder than the first game. So those are two things that could potentially turn people off.
So that's
people who
where
played it.
Okay,
say it's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where having Team Cherry develop it too. Like they're the people who did Hollow Knight. That would being a side scroller, being a little more difficult. That checks out. That's actually a genius pick right there. That's not a bad one. Adrian, do you have anything for us, or do you want me to go first?
You go first. I got a good one, but I'm trying to figure out who I want to make it.
Okay. Mine is the PlayStation 1 classic, 1996. Insomniac Games brought you Disruptor. First person shooter. It's a Doom clone 100%, but it's a dang good one. Dang good Doom clone. I love that game so much. Like I played that nonstop. That was one of the games we had growing up, and I would just pop that one in. And it was hard for a kid. Like I wouldn't get very far, but that was back in the day with cheat codes. That's what I loved. We had like a binder full of cheat codes that my dad had printed out from Cheat Code Central, and what was the other one? There was a second one that we used a lot. I can't remember the name of it, but so Disruptor had codes that just basically unlock different levels or different weapons and stuff. So for me, it was more like, all right, this is too hard to actually play, but I really like these different worlds. So, because you go to different planets and fight stuff. And so like, all right, I want to go to this world and use this gun and just like beat the crap out of everyone. Just like destroy everything. So much stinking fun. So I want Disruptor back. And I either want Insomniac to do it, because so they made, what was the shooter? Oh, Resistance on PS3. That was third person perspective, wasn't it though?
The Resistance games, those were first.
They were first person as well? Okay.
Yeah, that was Insomniac.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Insomniac made Disruptor as well. So that's what I'm saying.
Sorry. I missed that part.
So that's what I'm hoping. Okay. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if Resistance was first person or not. It's been so long since I played it. I played the first one like when it first came out for like 10 minutes and then never touched it again. So yeah, I would love Insomniac to give it a try again, because from what I heard, the Resistance games were good. They were fun. I never got into it. I never actually owned them. The one I played was when my cousin first got his PS3. Is way before I owned a PS3. So either Insomniac, or if they're like, because I would love it to stay within PlayStation as well. It was a PlayStation exclusive then. It'd be cool if it stayed on PlayStation. It's a PlayStation IP. Technically, PlayStation owns this IP, right? They should do something with it. If they're not willing to do it, man, if somehow in some weird world like Xbox got a hold of it and they gave it to id Software, the people who make Doom, have them make Disruptor, because Disruptor being originally a Doom clone, and then like the Doom developers to basically remake Disruptor and make it good, like make it like, oh, all right, we're gonna make it like Doom then, but so like all the Disruptor skin, but all the mechanics and everything that they have built out for Doom, like, oh, it'd be so sick, I think. So, but I mean, that would entail basically taking a PlayStation franchise and swinging it over to the other side, being an Xbox franchise, which I don't think PlayStation would do necessarily, but we'll see. So yeah, that's my pick. Disruptor. I either want Insomniac to give it a shot again. It's been a few years since they made a first-person shooter. Because when did Resistance 3 came out?
It's been a while. I'm going to say 2011, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. 2011 on
PS3. All three of them were PS3.
Yeah, PS3. They had one on Vita as well. They had a game on PSP, a game on Vita, and then they had a few on the last one. So they haven't made a Resistance game in a minute. Be cool. I don't know. That's my thought.
That would require them to stop making Marvel games, and they're not going to do that.
I know. I just wish we could get, because Ratchet and Clank is great, don't get me wrong, and the Marvel games are great. Like Spider-Man's been awesome, but there's just
then they got Wolverine, and then they got when they're a leaked Venom game or something coming. So we ain't getting an original Insomniac IP for a long time unless it's Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it's too bad. Too bad. Because they have like, I didn't realize that they did Sunset Overdrive as well.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Another banger that doesn't get talked about enough.
So they make great games, like original IPs, but yeah, now it's like, I feel like they're probably stuck in the Ratchet and Clank and Marvel cycle now. Like that's just what, kind of like how Naughty Dog is just going to be Last of Us and Uncharted probably forever.
Isn't that crazy? Side note that Naughty Dog is getting ready to go this entire generation without a new game.
That is crazy. Whoa. Have they done that before?
No. They've had stuff on PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4.
Yeah, that is insane. I mean, I think obviously I think the original plan was probably that multiplayer game, Last of Us multiplayer game, but it didn't pan out.
No.
Dang.
But they said that they already had other irons in the fire. So, but that means that they haven't even really started if all their focus was on the multiplayer game. So I think they don't have enough time. That's what, 2 years left, if that, for a full-on Naughty Dog crafted experience. No, they're gonna go this whole gen without nothing, without any new releases.
That's crazy.
Original releases, I should say.
Yeah. It's crazy to look at this list on Wikipedia of their games. So 1996, Crash Bandicoot. Then Crash Bandicoot 2, Crash Bandicoot Warp, Crash Team Racing, Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, Jak 3, Jak X, Uncharted, Uncharted 2, like banger after banger, Uncharted 3, Last of Us.
Going nuts.
Last of Us Left Behind, Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Last of Us 2. Man, they out of like they're all bangers.
They were on a run.
None of like they haven't really had a miss at all ever. Like there's been games that have been less good than the others, but I don't think any of them have been like flops. Like all of those have been very solid games. Crazy. Naughty Dog, what are you doing? Now they just make, I love how like the last 4 entries is just like The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. Like 4 times over. What are you doing, guys?
Sock said, I didn't know Insomniac made an FPS. Dude, where have you been?
They did.
Resistance is amazing.
Resistance, it was fun. The little bit I played of the first one was fun. That is a franchise I wish I could play more of, but I mean, which I could. I have a PS3.
Resistance has Ratchet and Clank DNA in it, and in the fact that you have a whole bunch of weapons in that game, just like Ratchet and Clank, that have a whole bunch of different abilities too.
Good stuff.
I miss Resistance. How come they haven't done a remaster for that? What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I mean, right now it's just locked on PS3. It's one of those.
Right.
Why didn't we talk about that on our episode last week? Man, yeah, it's one of those. It's just locked and stuck right on PS3. So it says I played Resistance and forgot Insomniac made those games. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
All right, Adrian, what do you got? Did you?
Okay, so I'm trying to think who I want to. I'm trying to think who I want to remake the original Star Fox game.
Oh,
But I want it
okay.
in that art style.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think who I want to make it, because I think you can really do a lot with that art style because it's so simplistic, not in a negative way.
So the original one was Star Fox 64, right? Is that correct?
No, it was on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
It
I
was
realized
it
that.
was one of the first like big deal 3D games because it was running on Super Nintendo. They had to make a whole separate chip for that game just to run it on Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Platinum because I think they got a raw deal with Star Fox Zero because Miyamoto kept making it play stupid with that split control scheme that only he was the one that knew how it worked. I would love them to be able to take that art style and take that style of gameplay and just like make a whole new campaign and all that stuff with it. I think that would be pretty sick because they're really good at action and yeah, I don't know.
Hisoka says Ubisoft tried with Starlink and it was bad. Yeah.
Whoa, no, hold on. We're not doing this.
Oh no.
We're
okay.
not doing this. No. Starlink was one of the best pieces of Star Fox content we got in a long time. Absolutely not. I love the Star Fox inclusion in Starfield. Starlink.
That's awesome.
That was so cool. And it was only in the Switch version too that they weaved them into the story.
I never got to play Starlink, but I thought it was, the idea of it was so cool. Like the fact that you buy an actual like toy ship to like put in the game. Like it was during that era with like, what was it, Outlanders and what was the other one?
I still have my R-Wing. I'm looking at it right now on the shelf.
Yeah, there's all those games where like you scan in the toys into the game and stuff like that. Like that's such a cool idea, honestly. Like I don't know why that didn't take off more. Like I feel like
because the toys to life game genre was already dying, and I don't know. They should have just made that a complete game.
That's what I'm saying. Like why is it dying? It sounds like if I was a kid, like that sounds so sick. Like right? Like I would be loving it. So it's just like, what's wrong with this generation? What's wrong with this generation of kids?
Having worked at a toy store, it's sick to you. But it's not sick to your parents who have to go out and buy these $9.99 pieces of ships every other 3 days because you need it. Mom, I need this, I need this, I need this, and then you're walking out of the store with $49.95 worth of toy pieces every week, right? I was in the middle of it.
Yeah, I wonder too if, because a lot of that, like we obviously grew up like more in the 90s where like that was kind of in the 90s and early 2000s, having little toys and trinkets and stuff like that was just normal. It was a very normal thing where by the time Toys to Life was really getting big, it was like the kids then were used to, like that was already like kind of the beginning of the whole like iPad generation thing. Like everything is digital, everything is like sort of the idea of having like a bunch of like toys and junk, like not that kids don't like toys, but I wonder if that's a part of it. We're just like as a generation almost, it was just like not as much as like a hype thing, where for me, like even as an adult, I still getting little toys and trinkets, where some people, like I feel like some of these younger people, which sounds weird to say because I'm only 30, but some of these younger people is like almost like minimalist. So it's like, I don't want anything, like I got everything I need on my phone, on my Netflix or whatever. Like I don't know, people just don't go out and buy knickknacks like I do. Like look at the stupid shelf back here with toys over there. I got freaking
you're
toys
right
over there. So I just wonder if it's like, yeah, like you're right. Like it's sad that's happening, but it's like, oh, it's 100% like a generational thing where like we grew up in the era of like Nickelodeon trying to sell you every little tchotchke they could, and nowadays it's like, I don't watch cartoons or whatever, but like I feel like it's not the same, I don't know.
No. I rarely see kids playing with toys these days.
Yeah.
Like, like you just said, like us, we'd be like, oh, action figures or some dumb little fushigi or floam, like the little stupid stuff, skip it, just crazy stuff like that. But kids don't. Why? You got YouTube. You got computers.
Yep. Sad. All right. Well, that is it for our listener questions this week. If you remember, if you want your questions answered here on the air, or if you just want to send us a letter, I guess you can go over to supergamerboys.com, write us a little note. That's fun. Or you can go to join our Discord. I just forgot what it is. Oh, Super Gamer. Boy, my brain just totally just farted there.
We're at the beginning, dude. You can't be.
We're at the beginning. This isn't good. Supergamerboys.com.
Can't be short-circuiting right now.
/Discord. Supergamerboys.com/Discord. And you can join our Discord for free. It's open to anyone and everyone. You can hang out with us during the week, talk about what games you've been playing, what movies you've been watching, talk about the episode from the previous week, or like I said, go to the channel for submitting to the mailbag. Drop your questions right there. We read them here in the air. So think about joining us over there. It's fun. It's good times. And it's a good place for me to find help with Hollow Knight. We'll talk more about that later during Whatcha Playing. But it's been nice to have quick access to Hophead Ed, the Hollow Knight expert, All right, Adrian, it's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
There we go. We needed an extra special one because last week we didn't get it because we were having a laughing fit.
Good grief.
We were hysterical at the moment, incapacitated from my lemonade, the lemonade debacle, let's call it.
That was a bit. If somebody's watching and they want to do like a 2024 compilation at the end of the year, that's got to be in there.
So good. All right. This first news story. Hopefully everything's working here. Yes, it's working. This first news story comes to us from Eurogamer. And Tom Phillips over there writes, Switch 2 won't suffer from component shortages, Nintendo says. We'll see. Nintendo Switch 2 won't be hit by the same component shortages that blighted the launch of other recent consoles and led to months of product scarcity and scalping. Speaking to investors this week, Nintendo said it had now resolved the issue, which had seen it unable to manufacture enough Switch 1 hardware to meet demand in previous years. Both Sony and with PlayStation and Microsoft with Xbox faced similar shortages for their own parts. That situation has now been resolved, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa said of Switch 1 stock. As for the successor to Nintendo Switch, at present, we do not think shortages of components will significantly affect production. Indeed, Nintendo said it felt positive about its ability to launch and supply Switch 2 consoles overall, as it was taking steps to ensure its expected release next year went as smoothly as possible. Get out of here, video. I don't want to. As much as I want to play Elden Ring, I don't want to watch that right now. I'm trying to read. We believe that the most important countermeasure against reselling is to produce enough units to meet demand. Furukawa continued. Yes, that is correct. Yes, do that, please. This thinking has not changed since last year. In addition, we are taking into account circumstances in each region and considering what measures can be taken within the limits permitted by law. Nintendo has yet to formally announce the Switch 2 or detail when it will likely arrive, but Eurogamer understands the console is now due in 2025, following earlier plans to launch it in time for Christmas 2024. In the meantime, don't expect Switch 1 to get any cheaper either. Currently, this is a quote from Furukawa, currently we cannot provide any information about the launch timing or pricing strategy for the successor system. In addition, we are not currently considering a price change for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo has said it will make the announcement of Switch 2 before the end of this fiscal year, so sometime before March 31st of 2025. Interesting little tidbit there. I wasn't expecting the bit about Switch 1. So it says they're not considering a drop on the Switch 1 at all.
I mean, why would you? It's selling.
Right. I guess, do you think that means just for now, or do you think that also includes when the Switch 2 comes out? Because I guess the way I took it was we're not considering a drop like at all. Like even after the Switch 2 comes out, like they're going to sit rock solid on that price. But
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
That is, I would say within a month of Switch 2 coming out, they're going to go ahead and lower the price of the Switch 1.
Right.
Because that's the most
They don't
want the old hardware to be confused with. Yeah, they don't want the old hardware to be confused as being as premium as the new one.
Right.
So you have to pretty much, logically, you have to decrease the price.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, because right now, as long as they let that go, the Switch One is still the premier hardware on the market. So it's our premium experience as of right now. So why would we discount it?
Right.
So
yeah, that makes
sense.
Okay. Yeah, and that's like the most reasonable thing. Like, so as I was reading, I'm like, my mind went to the idea I mentioned there. I'm like, that seems wild. Like, why would they do that? But yeah, I'm glad you're here to be reasonable with that, because that's exactly, I was just like, why wouldn't they drop the price? But yeah, I guess that makes sense for now while they're waiting, which is, why would they? Like, it's selling, people are still buying Switches, people love their Switches. Why would they drop it down now? As far as the new console though, and supposedly
now this is where we need to call a little BS.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think they underestimate the power of the scalper. I don't
by a landslide.
I don't think they understand how bots work.
How bots work, how conniving people can be when they want something or when they're trying to make a profit, right? How vindictive people can be towards other people when they're trying to make when you put the element of human greed into anything and the human indomitable spirit, you'd be surprised what you can get.
Yeah. Especially with something as hotly anticipated as the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is it. They're going to have to produce so many of them. They're going to have to go in the hole so much to compensate for the amount of sales they're going to get. I think they heavily underestimate that.
They would, in order for everybody who wanted one to get one, right? On day one, I would say the minimum you would probably have to have is about 20 on hand.
20,000?
You're not going to sell all 20. No.
Wait, sorry. What's 20? How many are you talking about? Nintendo?
Yeah. 20 million.
Oh, 20 million. Okay. You just said 20. I was just like 20,000.
Oh, I thought when we were talking about console sales, I feel like
okay,
kind of going without saying.
Sorry. I was mid Google as well, because I want to see where Switch sales are at. So I was just going to see.
In order to thwart scalpers and have everybody who wants to get a Switch in a launch window get a Switch in a launch window, I'm not saying they're going to sell all 20, right? But if you want to 100% ensure that people who want one can get one, you have to have like 20 million ready to go.
Yeah. So,
and I don't
so
in my wildest dreams think they have 20 million assembled already. There's no way.
I mean,
not even 10.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So as of May 7th, 2024, so just like a month or so ago, a couple months ago, they surpassed 140 million sold. So even if they had 20 million on hand, that's about 14 and some change percent of the current. So it's basically saying, all right, 14% of the people who currently have a Switch are going to upgrade. That it's allowing for that, which that's reasonable. Like I think you're not going to have much more than that wanting to upgrade. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like they should have more around on hand as well. Cause I don't know. Yeah.
That's why I think 20 is a solid number. It's way more than they're going to sell, right? I would probably say all the hardcores are going to be able to get one. No problem. Right. The people who are going to be on the website at 12 a.m. when pre-orders go live, everybody who does that would be able to get one. And you wouldn't see as much on the internet about, oh, I got locked out, blah, blah, blah. The scalpers because the bots can't move fast enough to clean up 10 million units before people get them. 10 million? 10 million.
We'll see. I wonder how many, I doubt this number's even you can look it up. But I wonder how many PS5s were available at launch when like PS5 launched.
It wasn't a whole lot because remember, they were just talking about what was it, 2021? They had reached 3 million sold. Wasn't it? Because of how low the production numbers were because of COVID.
So they hit 50 million units in December.
Right, because production ramped back up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find numbers from launch, and it's showing me all recent numbers, not showing me old stuff for some reason. So, because I'm curious, like, yeah, I wonder how many they had available. Obviously, it wasn't 20 million if over the span of 5 years they're only at 50 million now. Isn't that crazy that Switch just surpassed 140 million sales in PlayStation, which is in second place, barely just crossed 50?
That's because it's the worst PlayStation.
That is wild to me.
And that's a good indicator to show you so. PS5 is the worst PlayStation. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
It's got great games on it, but as a PlayStation, it's the worst PlayStation.
Yeah, it gets the job done, but it's nothing extraordinary.
No.
Definitely. But yeah, Switch 2. Apparently everyone's gonna get one. You'll be able to go to your local mom gas station down the street, and they're just gonna have one sitting on the counter.
I would love to not have to sit up at 12 at night when I have to go to work the next day and wait for a page to open so I can
wait for
pre-order it.
Wait for Best Buy to load just to crash 5 minutes later.
Right, right. I would love to just get up one day and go, let me in get my pre-order in.
Oh, I'm on my lunch. I'm on my lunch break at work. I'll see. Oh, yeah.
Let me just knock this out.
Yeah. Crazy, but we'll see. They can figure that out.
I don't
anyone's
trust
gonna
them.
do it. If anyone's gonna do it, Nintendo could do it. I just don't trust them to actually do it.
Correct, and that's based on prior outings that they've done.
Yeah,
with other consoles where it was near impossible to get a Switch for a minute. Don't even get me started on the Wii.
Oh,
remember
the
that
Wii
whole
was insane
catastrophe?
Yeah, that was nuts. Absolutely bonkers. I love Hophead Head in the chat says every family in America will go for a gallon of milk and leave with 2 Switch 2s. That's what we want. We want people to go to get the gallon of milk from Fast Track down the street, and they're like, "Hey, we got a couple of Switches over here behind the counter. You want some? Heck yeah,
we'll take 2.
Take 2. Oh man, that we'll see. I trust Nintendo just about as far as I could throw them, which is
healthy for any large corporation to have that kind of relationship with them.
We'll see. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. Keep your expectations low.
I would love to be.
Keep the expectations down here, so then when the reality is up here, then you know what? It's a win. Where if our expectations are up here, and then the reality's down here, that's when things start getting crappy. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, we'll be talking more about the Switch 2. I wish we could hear more about this console, but we've talked about this before. We're not going to hear anything more solid about the Switch 2 until at least January, February.
Late this year,
right? I would think it's January, February with a launch around summertime, right? Early summer.
No, I think they probably patterned it after this Switch. Where we got the reveal event in October, I think, and it came out in March. So that would be what I would place my bet on. Okay.
I mean, that's all right. Just to even finally get solid information this year would be awesome. I don't care that's coming out next year. It'd be cool to know what we're getting into. Yeah. So
I'm fine with that. I still got more Switch games I need to finish before I hop on over. But then I guess I could just play Switch 1 games on 2. So doesn't matter.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that's true.
We don't even know that. Don't know anything. All right, let's move on to this next news story. This next news story comes to us from Wesley Yinpool over at IGN. Crazy Taxi Reboot, an open-world, massively multiplayer AAA game, Sega says. Sega has big ambitions for the Crazy Taxi Reboot. It's described it as an open-world, massively multiplayer AAA game. Crazy Taxi is a driving game series that first appeared in arcades in 1990. 1999 before ports on consoles such as the Dreamcast saw it enjoy popularity in the home. You play a taxi driver who speeds through the city to deliver passengers to their destinations, performing stunts to earn points along the way. During the Game Awards 2023, Sega announced new games in the Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and Crazy Taxi franchises. Alongside the teaser trailer below, the video shows brief gameplay clips of each of the games set to return. In February, Takaya Segawa, who runs Sega's support studio in Sapporo, briefly mentioned the Crazy Taxi reboot as a AAA game. Now, in a developer-focused video interview reported on and translated by Automaton, Sega offered more information confirming Crazy Taxi is a large-scale open-world and massively multiplayer driving game powered by Unreal Engine. Okay. Producer Kenji Kano said that the new Crazy Taxi can be played by many players at once with the goal of maintaining the classic Crazy Taxi style amid these new mechanics. What the image that just popped in my head was like Horizon, Forza Horizon. Is that what it's going to be? Forza Horizon, but Crazy Taxi?
That's what makes the most sense. The only thing I worry about is Crazy Taxi is a really high speed game. So when I'm going, 120 down a street trying to make a fare, and I've got two other people that are coming the opposite way, are we just going to phase through each other, or do I have to worry about colliding with them? Is that another extra challenge on my route?
Or someone just like joining the game just to grief other people. Like I just imagine the players who is purposely like creating roadblocks just to like screw people over and stuff. Like it sounds like it'd be fun, but also it could be rough.
It sounds like it'd be fun on only one side of it, and then on the other side you're like, this is such a pain. Why did I get this?
There's mention of a theme park-like map and motifs inspired by the U.S. West Coast. As Automaton noted, one image reveals the player driving a police car, suggestion new types of modes. Okay, there actually is a screenshot. Boy, does this look gorgeous. I don't know if this is what the final product is going to look like, but that's actually very impressive graphics. Like, it looks like they must be using Unreal 5 because this is beautiful. Like ray tracing on the side of the police truck and stuff, like reflections from across the street. Holy cow. There's no release date yet for the Crazy Taxi reboot or other new games announced at last year's Game Awards. Last month, it was reported that Sega is developing a remake of the original Jet Set Radio as a separate project to officially announce franchise reboot, with screenshots and footage popping up online. That's it for that article. So yeah, that didn't really click with me until halfway through that article. This sounds like it could be like a Forza Horizon type deal. I'm trying to remember because I've only played a little bit of those games. In those games, you kind of just phase through people, right? That has like kind of like unless you're in a race. If you're in a specific race with
if you're
them,
in a race, you don't.
Then there's collision. But I think generally it's just kind of like, oh, you're in the same world, but you just go right through the players. And if that's the case, this could be fun. Because then you could just squad up with anyone that you see and be like, hey, let's do a route together or something. Or, hey, let's race.
You know what I would love?
Do a time trial.
Passenger mode.
Oh, you could just like jump in someone else's taxi.
Well, like if you could set yourself up as a passenger, right? And like give people a challenge, like pick a point on the map and then pick the amount of time for them to get there. And then just like put it up on like your own personal little poster board and people could take the mission if they want to.
Like kind of like put up your own like bounty kind of thing. Be like, hey, if anyone can beat this.
Right.
I mean,
if anyone can get me across town in 32 seconds, I'll pay you this amount of money out of whatever I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be awesome. Have like your own like job board that you could put a post on. Hophead Ed makes a good point. He says, why not call it Crazy Uber? Get with the time, Sega.
Doesn't hit the same. Not at all.
They're just like, it's just, I mean, that I
crazy
wonder
ride share.
I wonder how much they're going to modernize the game. Cause 100% like, is it just going to be like you have a phone app? It's basically just you're an Uber driver now. Like, is that what this is going to be? Your phone dings and you pull it up and then you hit accept job on the app. It's going to be like a Grand Theft Auto situation where you can bring your phone up and stuff. Oh man, I don't have a ton of experience with Crazy Taxi. I've only ever played it at arcades, and even then, I've rarely played it at arcades because I was never good.
It's the
at
most
it.
fun way. The most fun way to play it is at the arcade.
Okay.
It's great. It's phenomenal on Dreamcast. I've played a lot more on Dreamcast than at the arcade, but something about actually having the wheel and the whole setup and the cabinet being there, that's the premier way to play it.
Yeah. I feel like you don't see the cabinets a lot anymore, though. Like at the very few arcades that even are around, it's definitely one of those games that like, oh yeah, you don't see much anymore. You still see some other like gems around still. Like you'll see like the time. What was it called? Is it Time Crisis? Is that what it's called?
Time Crisis. Yeah.
And see like you'll see some other like classic ones, but for some reason like any racing game nowadays, it's always like the Mario Kart one or like one of the motorcycle ones or something like that, which is unfortunate because yeah, some of those older like racing games are so sick. But we'll see. We will see. I'm not mad at this. At first, when I read the headline, I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna have a more negative take. I was like, this sounds horrible. Freaking Crazy Taxi turning into World of Warcraft. Like, what is this trash? But then I was like, oh, wait a second. No, this is Forza Horizon. I was like, that actually sounds kind of sick.
Yes, I think it can work.
After
I was middle of the road until we started hashing it out and talking about it, but no, I think it can actually work.
Yeah, they've won me over. All right, you win, Sega. Don't screw it up now. Don't screw it up. But seriously, I want to look up this interview now just to see, like, do they only have this one screenshot, or is there more? Is there like video footage? Because this is a screenshot. I'm like, this looks really pretty. Like, I'm kind of shocked.
Well, there's those clips from that when they did the reveal at the Game Awards. Remember that?
That's true. Which I didn't like do too much digging into, but yeah, maybe I need to look at that too. Because this game's looking nicer than I thought it was going to. I was anticipating like classic Crazy Taxi, just like cartoony, wacky, not great graphics. I'm like, oh no, they're making a modern game.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool, very exciting. So look for. We don't have any date on that, right? Yeah, no release date yet. So
no,
stay tuned.
None of those games in that project has a date yet.
You'll hear about it soon, hopefully. I imagine soon. The fact that they announced it at the Game Awards, you would think they would have something releasing within the next year and a half, right? Like, why show it off?
Yeah.
If it's not coming within like something, not everything, but at least one of those things coming within the next year and a half. So
I mean, it could be to gauge word of mouth to make sure that people actually want it. So
that's
that,
true.
You know, if they're not that far in development, they can always just cut it at the knees.
I guess you're right. There are a lot of games that do that where they announce things, gauge interest, and if there isn't interest, they just cancel it. Like,
right.
It's not like what that was actually. Oh, what was that? There was that Star Wars game that was announced at a Game Awards that was supposed to be in the hands of what's his name over there? What's the studio that did Detroit Become Human? Anyways,
Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream. I don't remember the name of it. Star Wars something. I was reading an article.
Yeah, that got canned.
I was reading an article like a month or two ago, and I didn't realize it got canceled. I just know we haven't heard a lot about it. But I was reading this article, like, oh yeah, like it's, as far as everyone knows, it's been canned. And then supposedly, and again, I didn't realize this. I guess that either I'm an idiot or maybe it was new information. But that trailer literally was just a proof of concept. Like, that's all they had. Like, they just had like a couple storyboards, and supposedly that was just a vision trailer. So the final product might not look or feel anything like that. That was just kind of, it was basically their Pinterest board. Hey, here's our Star Wars Pinterest board for a game. And yeah, apparently they couldn't get investors on board for it. And so I don't know if it's ever been confirmed, but as far as the rumor I've read is like, it's canned. They couldn't get the investors for it, which is wild to me that people can do that. They can be like, world premiere, and then like show a trailer, and then 6 months later be like, just kidding. That game never existed. It was purely just fishing for money. You know, it's like, what a sad world we live in. That it's like, all right, you can't even believe everything you see at these game announcements. Half of them are fake games just to see if they can get some investors.
And some of them are really well made too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the amount of money and time that was spent creating that cinematic was immense. And for that to be like, oh, this is just like our idea board, basically, and we have nothing more than this, blows my mind. But I guess that's business, baby. You know.
Sure enough. I mean, yeah. I don't know. What can you do?
What can you do? We can back it. If you buy more of our merch over at sgbstore.com, we'll pay Quantic Dreams to bake the game, or to pay someone else to make it, because Quantic
I don't
Dreams
want
is
Quantic Dreams
whack.
to make it. They made
They're-
Detroit Become Human, and
they're
it was
whack.
It was whack.
They're whack over there. We need someone else
Yes.
working on it. Oh man, can we produce it? We'll find a different developer and we'll produce it. How about that?
Or we'll just write it ourselves, and
There we go.
I don't know, figure it out.
Right, and then just put it in a notebook and on the shelf. No one will ever see it. 'Cause
No, we'll write it and then we'll
we
sell
don't have
it.
any
We'll sell it to a
connections.
publisher. We'll write it and sell it to a publisher, and then they can use it. You know, they can make it themselves. But at least we get paid for it, so why not?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for that one. Stay tuned. If there's anything more with these Sega reboots, we'll definitely be talking about it right here, because Adrian just loves it and can't get enough of it.
Dreamcast for life, baby. Where's my mini at?
Oh yeah. All right. This last news story, if it loads here it is. This last news story comes to us from Polygon, written by Michael McWhirter. New Resident Evil in the works, with the man responsible for reinventing the series at the helm. The next mainline Resident Evil game is in development. Game director Koshi Nakanishi confirmed Monday in a video stream by Capcom. Nakanishi was the director of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil Revelations, and also served as a designer on Resident Evil 5. In other words, Nakanishi's games have both steered Resident Evil back towards its horror roots while also trying to reinvent the franchise in important ways. In confirming the new Resident Evil, Nakanishi said, "It was really difficult to figure out what to do after Resident Evil 7, but I found it, and to be honest, it feels substantial." Nakanishi said he couldn't say more about the next game, the follow-up to Resident Evil Village, but hoped that fans will look forward to its official reveal. 2017's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard was a major turn for the franchise, shifting the action from third person to first person and introducing a new playable protagonist, Ethan Winters. Village, released in 2021, is said by Capcom to be the end of the Winters family saga, meaning Resident Evil 9 will likely feature the return of a classic Resident Evil hero or another brand new character. The most recent entry in Capcom's survival horror franchise was last year's remake of Resident Evil 4, which starred Leon S. Kennedy. The Separate Ways add-on starring Ada Wong was released for RE4 in September 2023. Capcom is reported to have multiple Resident Evil projects in development, including remakes of Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica. There's no official release window for Resident Evil 9, but given Capcom's recent cadence of releasing a sequel or remake every other year, we could see the next Resident Evil as early as 2025. I am so hyped for this, because let me tell you, Resident Evil 7,
Banger.
what an incredible game. Up until that point, I had only played Resident Evil 5 on Xbox 360, and I loved it. But I didn't really have any other attachment to the franchise other than my dad playing it on PS1 way back in the day. And I was way too young to be playing it, let alone even watching it. And I would sneak out of my bedroom and crawl up beside the couch and watch my dad and his cousin play it into the wee hours of the night until I got caught and sent back to the room and got in trouble. So I didn't grow up playing Resident Evil games. I grew up sneaking out and trying to watch it once in a while. So like 5 was like my first one I actually got to play and like really loved it. And then I heard 6 was bad, too much action going on, so I avoided that. So when 7 came out, reinvented the wheel. I'm like, all right, let's try this out. I had my PSVR at the time.
Oh,
this is
man,
the game.
You played it that way?
This is the game. I beat it. Yeah, I think I remember, because did we have the podcast yet? I don't know if Super Gamer Boys existed at that point yet, or maybe we had just started. But yeah, it was. So I've probably talked about this before, but it took me about 8 or so hours to beat the full game, and half of that, maybe like 4.5 hours of that, was in VR. Like I did basically as like the beginning part. So like the worst part, worse as in good. When I say worse, I mean the best part. I mean, the best part, but the worst part to do in VR because it was hell. I thought I was literally gonna have a heart attack and die. I played that part in VR, and then I was like, I need to slow down. I got to take a break. Take the sucker off. But very, very good game. I loved 7 so much. And 8 that came out what, a couple years ago now. That game was fun, but
it was good. It wasn't great. There were great sections of it, but as a whole, it wasn't great.
100%. Yeah.
Not a bad game by any means, just not as good as like 4 or 7 or any of those.
Yeah. Like 2 remake was so good. 7 was so good. I haven't played 4 remake yet. I really want to. I should see if that's on sale, actually. That might be worth picking up. But yeah, when 8 came out, it was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, again, it wasn't a bad game, but it was just, it was definitely like this is an okay game. I wouldn't even say it was like good either. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was like right in the middle. That kind of like, this is fine, except for certain.
I'd say
moments.
it was good because it had.
Moments. Yeah.
Right. The good moments were really good. Yeah. So that's why I'm willing to give them. It's a good game.
Freaking dollhouse.
Oh, that was one of the best parts. That part was so good. I was terrified the whole time.
Absolutely terrified the whole time. Or I just remember too, like, I mean, I think it's clipped on our Twitch channel. If you go to twitch.tv/SuperGamerBoys, you can watch the highlight of me being chased by the freaking fetus monster in the basement, just screaming like, no, stop it! Like freaking out as I'm being chased by this thing. Just trying to close the elevator door and it's not closing.
Yes, that part was so good.
Please.
That part was so good.
Oh man, I straight up I was like, I didn't, but I was like, I almost ended stream.
I gotta go to bed.
I was like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go change my pants. Like we're done. So like, yeah, it had really good, like really high highs, but then the rest of it was like not lows, but it definitely was just like, this is fine. So I'm excited. I'm excited with this because it's, again, it's the guy who made 7, which was pretty much for most of the game. The tail end got a little wonky on 7, but man, like the atmosphere.
Which it should. For the first, you're dealing with T-Virus,
Yeah. The atmosphere and story for the first like 3 quarters of that game was impeccable. So I hope we can bring back some of that magic with the new one. You played 7, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get to play anything on VR?
I did not, unfortunately. Okay. Oh no, wait. Sorry. 7 I did. 7 I did.
Or even like the kitchen demo. Like some people didn't play the whole game, but that's what they had, like the kitchen demo out.
No. I played the kitchen demo and I played the regular one in VR. The kitchen demo was life-changing. How terrifying it is.
We had
knowing that he's around somewhere and you can't see him and you can't just turn your character around. Like you have to turn around to see him. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Nightmare.
Yeah. There was 2 different VR demos, right? Because there was a kitchen demo and then there was another one. Because there's one where it wasn't really interactive. You just sat there, like you were just like in a chair. So we have a clip. I don't know. Oh, where is that? It was on. Did I take it on my phone? I might need to go back and find that. There's a famous clip of JJ playing, like it's just me videoing him with the headset on, but he's doing the one where you just kind of like the experience one where you just sit there and like, the hands come around and grab your head and then like the head comes down.
Oh my God.
Like in JJ like freaking out. I literally we're literally at work. My boss was like, hey, we're gonna have a chill, we're gonna do some training in the morning and then the rest of the day is just chill. So I brought in my PSVR to work, and after our training, like he tried it, JJ tried it, the secretary who was working there, she tried it. It was just like, it was so funny watching everyone's reaction. But
you gotta find that. You may need it one day for JJ blackmail.
The one of JJ. Yeah, I gotta find that. That was a good pull. But man, yeah, such good games. And I hope this next one's good too. Now I'm trying to think. So we got the remake last year. So yeah, as far as their calendar is concerned,
5 remake is up next.
5 remake is next, but what I was going to say, because right now they're on track where basically every other year a game, some game comes out one way or another. So I wonder if and because they always release like in February, so it was like, I wonder if the next game is going to be 9 and it'll be this coming February, right? Could we see a trailer at Game Awards? Because that's where we've gotten trailers before, I think.
It's a possibility. I don't think there's any kind of a lock you can put on it.
Yeah, or do you think they slide one more remake in there? Like they give us 5 before we get 9?
Nah. I think you got to keep the gravy train rolling.
Yeah, because like it's pretty much been, I guess I could look up like their exact release schedule, but it's pretty much been every other year something's coming out, and it's almost alternated, right? It was like 7 and a remake, and then we had 2 remakes in a row. We did have 2 and then 3. They did do that.
Right.
I forgot.
But I feel like those were more of a double pack. Like they were the same game, they just got split.
That's true.
That's why they were able to come out at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I that would be sick. That'd be sick to get 9 sooner than later, but I don't know. We'll see. Man, a remake of 5 would be cool, honestly. Like 5 is great.
A remake of 6 actually to make it good would be
that's
great.
True. That's true. But like a 5 remake where they could because really honestly, those games hold up still today. Like I feel like when I got PlayStation Plus, because you can stream it on there, I can play the PS3 version of it. It plays pretty all right, and like the story, the world, like everything looked like graphic wise, like it's a killer game. But it's the controls that's what holds it back. They had some wonky controls at the time, and if they could just give it updated controls, honestly, it's like, all right, yeah, we're cooking now. Like this could be such an easy remake for them, I feel like.
Yeah. But you know how these companies are, man. Like, they'll just do anything that they want to do because they know you're gonna buy it. So they don't have to. They feel like they don't have to adhere to when people tell them, "Oh, you should do this because the old game did that," and they're like, "You're gonna buy it because it has the old game's name on it." That's the problem.
And it's true. That's true. They got me. All right. Well, that is it for the nerdy nudes this week. Now it is time for a Patreon ad.
Let's do it.
All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there starting at just $1 a month. That's right. $1 each and every month gets you episodes early and ad-free all month long. You can get this show early and ad-free. So if you're missing the live stream on Monday evenings, well, I edit this out, and most times by midnight, it's out to you guys. So that way, if you're a night owl, you can listen to it. Or if you're an early riser heading into work in the morning, you can listen to the new episode ready for you Tuesday. So support us at $1 to get that, as well as all of our Patreon exclusive shows, whether it's season 1 of Super Gamer Book Club, or what was it? Oh, Super Later Boys. That's our more recent kind of Patreon exclusive show, and other, all of our content ad free as well, whether it's Super Gamer Book Club, Super Gamer Boys, Super Dungeon Boys, our D&D podcast. So support us there. Just $1. It's so cheap, and it goes towards a good cause. Oh, and I guess now I can advertise. You get the 5% discount on our merch. So there you go. If you want a discount on our merch, support us at $1. $5 a month. You get all those previous perks, and you get the show notes early and ad-free. So you know exactly what we're going to be talking about on the show. So if you want to leave your own questions, comments, concerns, thoughts on the news stories, on what you've been playing, on the listener questions, on anything, literally anything on the show notes, you can leave a comment on, and we'll read it here on the air. So if you want your voice heard, think about supporting us at that $5 a month level. We would love to hear some of your guys' thoughts on news stories. What do you think about the Crazy Taxi reboot? Are you excited about an open world MMO? Or do you think Nintendo really could have enough Switch 2s at launch? We'll see. But yeah, so if you have thoughts on those things, you support us at $5 a month or more, you could have left your thoughts for us to read and discuss here on the air. $10 a month, you get all those previous perks and a big old shout out to top of each and every episode. We have a couple of those. It's so fun reading out those names each and every week. So you get all the previous perks and the shout out, and then our top dog tier, Patreon producer. You get the previous perks and the ability to pitch us a segment. That's right. If you have a segment idea, I will say here, get it vetted ahead of time. Whether you reach out on social media or on our Discord, be like, hey, I got an idea for a show segment. And if we give you the okay, support us over on at patreon.com/supergamerboys, $15 a month. We can turn it into an old segment here on the show, whether it's here actually during this show or if it's a separate thing, whether it's a spin-off over on our YouTube or social media somewhere. If you got an idea for some way to torture us, whether it's like back in the day we had losing reviews where we watched bad movies. Adrian originally started out with Super Indie Boys was a show segment that we did. Kajoma has had some fun little Kajoma Card Game Corner talking about TCG games. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, you can pitch us the idea. 9 times out of 10, we're gonna give it the old college try. So think about supporting us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. We got a tier for everyone. We got a perk for everyone. We do our best to bring you all of our great content early and ad-free and make it worth your while over there. You can also support us by going to sgbstore.com and buying some sweet merch. You heard the ad at the beginning of the show. We got some new merch. We got Summer Gamer Boys. It's called the Summer Gamer Boys Collection. You can view some of it on the homepage. Make sure you scroll down and there's a button that says View Full Collection. We got our monochrome, just a black and white, or I guess sand and black, same color t-shirt, black print on the back. We got our 80s neon color. That's right, you can get it in pink on the front, multicolored neon on the back. Summer Gamer Boys. Go check it out, sgbstore.com. You want to do some swimming this summer, get some SGB swim shorts here. Look at that angry sun. I didn't show this off either. There's a little hidden pocket inside. It says Summer Gamer Boys on it. You can put your little coins in there so you can get your soda from your sody pop from the vending machine. And they won't fall out.
In this economy, good luck. You're gonna need a bigger pocket.
A bigger pocket. Let me tell you, these things are comfy. They got some good stretch. They're nice and soft. Or kick it back, keep that sun out of your eyes with your Super Gamer Boys bucket hat. So check it out. We got some cool merch. sgbstore.com. Summer collection is live. New merch store is live. It's a good time over there. Oh, and our glass. Cheers. Summer Gamer Boys to you. Happy Summer Gamer Boys to you, Adrian.
Happy Summer Gamer Boys to you too.
Yeah, thank you. Last but not least, you can also support us by going over to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys, where you can support us by subbing to the channel. You can either click that sub button right now, $5, send it our way, helps us tremendously. But wait. If you have Amazon Prime, you could link your Amazon account to your Twitch account. Because they're the same company. If you didn't realize that, Jeff Bezos is buying everything around the world. He owns it all. And you can link those two accounts and get a free Prime gaming subscription. So that way it costs you $0. That's right. That $5 sub, free. Totally free to you. We still get the kickback from as if you paid for it. And you get the glorious perks of ad-free viewing, access to our emotes. And now with our new merch store, 5% off discount on our merch. That's right. You get a discount if you support us on Patreon, and you get a discount if you subscribe on Twitch. So think about subscribing with that free Prime gaming subscription. Make sure to re-up it each and every month. Sometimes it doesn't go through automatically, so it's easy to forget. But if you're here now listening, or if you're listening later on the podcast, think about going to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. Drop that free sub over there, or a paid one. Got a little extra cash, we'd appreciate that. So a sub's a sub, whether you pay for it or not. But I know a lot of you people out there are like, I don't want to drop the $5. Well, that's all right. Use that free sub. Drop it on our channel. You get all the same perks as the people who pay. And we very, very much appreciate it. Helps keep the channel running. And with that, I think it's time to get back to the show. All right, we are back, and Adrian, I have a very, very important question for you.
And what would that be?
What you playing? Also,
Ooh, buddy.
Also, real quick, I probably should have said this before I asked you, but I just realized Trouser Schnauzer rated us during that ad.
Are you telling me
the man,
DJ Trooz,
the man, the myth,
is
the
in
legend,
this chat right now?
the one whose music we generally have playing on our channel, just rated us. So I just want to give a shout out because we gave a shout out at the beginning of the episode to him. We're going to give a shout out at the end because we always do because he makes incredible music. But I just want to give one more shout out because he's the man. Just rated us. Thank you so much. You should go check him out. He streams. I think he's been playing through the new Elden Ring DLC recently. And it looks pretty cool. Anyways, thanks, DJ Trooz. Back to you, Adrian.
All right. So, got a little bit of an itch, or I guess, I don't know what, I can't remember what exactly, I should say, like, kicked it off.
Okay.
My shoulders hurt so bad today, dude. And that's, there's only one reason for it. I found my Wii, baby.
Oh no.
And I've been doing some Wii bowling. I've been Wii bowling like crazy. Let me tell you something. I'm still him in bowling. I don't know if you saw, but I bowled a 207 the other day.
Gosh.
Yes. I was going nuts. I was getting turkeys like nobody's business.
Insane.
A turkey is a triple strike for anybody who doesn't know bowling lingo. But yeah, no, I was whipping that right down the lane. It was so good.
Jeez.
So good. Wii bowling holds. You know what? Certain Wii games, they hold up.
I've been trying to figure out a friendly game for my kids to play because on weekends we usually after lunch they do like a rest time for a little bit where they go in their room, they read some books, they chill, and then after that during the week they do a show time where they watch a TV show for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. And that's kind of like their screen time for the day because otherwise little kids, at least my kids, they get cranky if they get too much screen time. So we try to limit it, But on the weekends, we try to do fun stuff where it's game time. That's where they got to play Kirby, right. It's just on weekends, Saturday, Sunday. And they finished Kirby, so I was like, what the heck do they do now? And we tried some other games that's now been working out. And man, I have the Wii out in the garage. What am I doing? My kids would freaking love Wii bowling and all these games.
It's right there, dude.
What am I doing? I'm like...
Wii Sports. New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, there's so
Mario
many
Kart Wii.
Amazing games there. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I might need to bring that
Rhythm Heaven. There's a WarioWare on there.
There is a WarioWare that I've never played, which is wild.
It's so good. It's one of the best ones.
That's what I've heard.
You hold the Wii remote in different positions. You have to hold it like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. It's
that's awesome. I've only ever played the one on Game Boy Advance, and yeah, I've heard the one on Wii is good. So I might need to pull that out for my kids because it's like I forget. Yeah, Wii Sports is just full of bangers, like all of it, not just bowling.
Yeah,
but all of them on there, so good.
Tennis, baseball, boxing.
Yeah, dude, they would friggin' love boxing. I need to pull that out. Yes. Just have my kids beat the crap out of each other. That'd be so good. Oh man.
Yeah, man. So I've been on a kick with that, and then I just kind of been putzing around other games on there. Man, am I glad I kept my stuff?
That's awesome. So good.
Yeah, and then I always forget it's actually also a GameCube, so I can just play my GameCube games if I wanted to.
Oh yeah,
just keep that there. Yeah,
so good.
Awesome.
I have I went ahead and my Wii's all hacked up, and so I have I got everything on there. I got all sorts of Wii games. I got all sorts of GameCube games. It's so fun. I love it.
I keep saying I need to do that.
It is surprisingly easy. I mean, I literally had like a YouTube short recommended to me the other day. I watched it, and this guy like hacked his Wii in like 30 seconds. Like he like literally speed ran hacking his Wii. I'm like, okay, yeah, it took me a little longer. It was my first time doing it. I was scared. I was like, I don't want to mess this up, but it's surprisingly easy. And then you just plug in a hard drive, and you have whatever size of hard drive uses up all those games. It's so great.
That would be so sick to put like the whole catalog on just like a tiny little 250 gig thumb drive or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
just have it there.
It's great. It's great. That's awesome. I just forget about the old stuff sometimes. Yeah, I was kind of fishing around like for my kids. Nintendo's doing their summer sale right now, and they had a couple Lego games for sale. So like one was like Lego Worlds was on sale for like $5. It's basically like the Minecraft Lego game. That was like $5, and then Lego DC Super Villains, the first one, was on sale for like $8, and that one I heard was supposed to be a great game. I only heard positive things about it, so I was like, all right, sweet, $8. I picked that up. They played Lego Worlds the other day. They liked it, but I think they're gonna like the DC Supervillain one better. I think that'll be fun little co-op game for them to play. We'll see. Anything else you've been playing, or just the old Wii?
I mean, that was the majority of it. Just getting it out and trying to find everything that was scattered to the four winds was a part of the challenge as well. I got the box out and I was like, surely everything is in here. Nope. So that was the other game I was playing. Find the Wii parts.
Find the Wii parts. Dude, you need to do you have an HDMI cable for it, or do you just have the component?
I just have the component.
Okay.
I didn't even know that they made an HDMI cable for it.
Well, they make adapters that's what I have for mine. I have so it plugs in to the back, like in the AV port, but then instead of going to like component, it just has an HDMI port, and you use your own
like the thing they make for GameCube.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get them cheap. Like, I mean, you can buy a really high-end fancy one, but I just bought like a $15, $20 one, and it works phenomenally. You should totally get one, and like that's what you stream this week on stream. Is you bowling, dude. That would be so fun. Just killing it in bowling.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man, so good. Cool.
Yeah, man. But that's what I've been playing. How about yourself?
Oh, Adrian, I finished another game. That's right. Record-breaking headline news here. Garrett's beat 2 games in 2 weeks. Wild, right? So yeah, last week I talked about beating Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is freaking game of the year at this point in my books. But I also completed my game of the year from last year, 2023. I'd given it game of the year status without even beating it. That's how good like the first 3 quarters of the game was. And finally I'm like, all right, I'm back. I got to finish this sucker. And that is Armored Core 6. I know later on I kind of like, put an asterisk next to it and said Dredge was also game of the year last year. But I mean, in my mind, they were both 10 out of 10s. They were amazing. Both great games. But Armored Core 6, holy smokes. Such a fantastic game. Some incredibly difficult combat. But what I love about this, because it's a From Software game, from the creator of Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, other notoriously hard games, Demon Souls. But I loved how you could get around it either with gameplay or just by cheesing it with the craziest build you could do with your mech. Like that's the advantage of Armored Core. Because like with Elden Ring and Dark Souls and stuff, you can cheese it a little bit with whatever build you do. But there's a point where cheese can only go so far in those games. I feel like Elden Ring, there's a few times like I would Google like specifically like just give me the cheesiest build so I can get through Elden Ring. And it got to a point where it's like, it doesn't matter how cheesy you get, you just got to get good.
You gotta get good at some point. Yeah.
I love with Armored Core, it's just like get as cheesy as you want with it. And because you can buy, like they have a whole store. As you go through missions, you unlock new parts in the shop. You can buy those parts in the shop. You always have a crap ton of money. Like you make so much money off of each mission you do. And even then, if you want to sell parts that you're not using anymore, I think you get 100% of what you pay for. Like there's no, like a lot of games, it's like, oh, if you buy it and you sell it, there's like, oh, well now the price, like whatever you sell it for is like half of what you paid for it. Nope, not in this game. If you paid 300,000 credits for it, you sell it back for 300,000 credits. So it's just like, you're basically you're borrowing parts essentially. You're just like, until you need the next new thing. And so, yeah, I don't know. I love that. And I know some people are gonna be like, well, you're playing it wrong, whatever. bunch of From Software
You
nerds
can't
out
do
there.
that. It's not a thing that you can do. You can't play something wrong.
You're not allowed to play that way. That's not how they intended you to play it. It's like, well, they wouldn't have put it in the game.
What do you mean you're using assist? What do you mean you're using this something that they built into the game? What are you talking about?
How dare you? What's the thing in Elden Ring everyone's, has to stick up their butt about? The freaking spirits or whatever?
Yeah, well, they're like other players that can come in and help you.
If you play, well, no, even the summons, though. I think people were pissed off about the summons.
Yeah.
Like, if you use a summon in Elden Ring, you're not playing it right. It's like, why would they put it in the game then? Why is it here?
Exactly. That's the same. That's this big stink I have about Smash Brothers. People love talking about, the best way to play Smash Brothers is no items, no this, no that, only on Final Destination.
No,
and I'm like, well, if that was the case, why did they add 100 other stages and hundreds of items?
Yeah.
Into the game to be used? What are you talking about?
Yeah, 100%. So that's with Armored Core.
You're the one playing the game, weirdo.
Yeah, you're playing it wrong. You're not.
Right.
You paid $60 for the game and you're only using $20 of it. You're the one who's missing out. But yeah, with Armored Core though, like I love that. I love how it's just like, all right, I'm gonna go full tank build, crazy rocket launchers, Gatling guns, whatever. And then it's like, I'm feeling, I could like, if I got to a level, I would usually start with my more skill-based build, and then if I got my butt kicked, I would just switch over to my other build. Because like even mid game, you can just, if you have builds saved, like if you've pre-built them and have them saved in your loadouts, then you can just switch mid level and be like, I'm going to try this one now, and like tank out a boss if you need to, and then just go back to your other one. It's great. I don't know, this game. So gameplay wise, it catered to my weaknesses, which gaming in general is my weakness. You guys all know I'm bad at video games. So if you're bad at video games, this is the From Software game for you. And then on top of that, I was not expecting the story to go where it went. I was just like, I think I even said it last week. I'm like, it kind of has a story, but it's like, it does for a while, it has a very similar From Software thing where it's just like, you guys are talking a lot of gibberish. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, because they just kind of throw stuff at you and expect you to be like, yup, okay, I understand this. I mean, you've played Elden Ring, like a little bit of it. Like they do the same thing. They're just like, we're talking about maidens and fingers and stuff. And it's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what any of this means.
And so everybody's like, duh, did you read the lore in that hidden scroll that you find in like a cave 30 miles away from where you are? 10 feet down underground?
It's like, yeah, totally. I dug that up.
Thanks.
So Armored Core kind of started out feeling like that, but as it progressed, it really actually did give you a good solid story. And by the end, there was even like an emotional pulling your heartstrings moment of, I compared it to, what was it before the show? I compared it to, what was the comparison I gave to you? Oh shoot, what was it? It was something else. Oh shoot, I don't remember. I don't know. It got to the point.
You were like, I can't believe that a game about a robot would make you this emotional. And I said, well, I can, because we got Wally.
Yeah, we got Wally.
Like Iron Giant. So it's definitely, movies out there that can do that, or
that's true.
Media out there that can do that.
No, what it was though is I described it to you as like, literally there's a moment in this that reminded me of like, so at the end of Metal Gear Solid, I'm spoiling a 25-year-old game. Go play it. At the end of Metal Gear Solid, there's a moment where you're halfway through the boss fight with Liquid Snake and Metal Gear, and Liquid has Gray Fox, Cyborg Ninja, pinned against the wall, about ready to split him in half, and you have got a rocket launcher trained on him. And what I love in the game is it looks down the sights of the rocket launcher as if you're about to pull the trigger, but if you pull the trigger on the controller, Snake goes, no, I can't do it. No, I could never. Meanwhile, Gray Fox is screaming, his gut's starting to spill, like, do it, Snake, pull the trigger, end it, kill him, like, finish him. This calling out, like, you could beat the boss right now. And you try to pull the trigger and it says, no. Like, so imagine that emotional, like, oh my gosh, kind of feel, this draw, this pull of like, I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger. Like a moment like that similar happens in Armored Core, and I was like, I was not expecting this, like this moment where it's just like, all right, decision's yours, kind of, but it's like, oh, like, all right, do the thing, and you're like, I don't know if I can do the thing. I don't know if I can. Or I guess they did it in Snake Eater as well, like at the end of Snake Eater, where it's just like, all right, pull the trigger or not, and it's like, oof, yeah. So Armored Core went hard at the end. I was not expecting it. I loved it. So great story, great gameplay, and all around good time. So go play Armored Core 6, my game of the year last year.
I hope you enjoyed it, because you're not getting another one for a long time, especially if FromSoft is behind it, because they got a whole bunch of other stuff that they're making now. And they're already starting development on the next whatever game it is after Elden Ring. So
I hope it performed well enough for them to give it more love, because it went a long time between Armored Core games. Like this one came out in 2023, right? So when was the last one? The last one was 2013, and even then that was like a spin-off of 5. Like 5 came out in 2012. So there's Armored Core 5 in 2012, and then 2013, a year later, was Armored Core 5 Verdict Day. So it was kind of like just a spin-off game. It wasn't even a full. So it took over 10 years to get a mainline game. It's like, oh, I hope it's not another 10 years before we get 7, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope it performed well. I also saw that they're releasing model kits for the new game. I think I remember I showed it off to you before. I assembled I assembled a model kit from Armored Core 5. And
that old piece of ancient garbage?
No.
You need to get one for 6.
Exactly. They're releasing.
Get with the times.
They're releasing 621 Raven model kit. I'm like, oh, I gotta get that 621. Gotta get it. That's the character you play as in the game. 621 Raven. Very good. All right. But anyways, I finished that game and then jumped into Hollow Knight because I'm like, I really just want to torture myself. Let's just get all these.
I was gonna say, you must have like a punishment thing, like you're masochist. What's up with that?
I mean, we talked about it last week with the lemonade.
That's fair. You know what? You're right.
Do we need to talk about the lemonade again, Adrian?
No. We're good.
Okay,
I believe you.
All right. I jumped into Hollow Knight. I got some direction from Eddie, and then I got some direction from the internet. Eddie kind of gave me a couple of pointers, and with his direction, I was able to better Google, because that's what I ran into. I just didn't know what to like search for on the online to figure out how to get past this point. And he kind of mentioned a couple of little tidbits of information. And then I was like, okay, I Googled something. I was like, all right, I figured it out. I beat the next little mini boss so I got the next ability. So now I'm ready. I'm going back. I just went back to the place I was stuck before because I finally have the thing to get through that area. So I'm excited. It's like, all right, we're moving forward with this game. So I've actually already made a lot of progress just in like a couple days on Hollow Knight. I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see if I ever beat this one. I don't know.
I'm pulling for you, man. I hope you don't tear your hair out.
I hope I don't either. All right. Well, that's all I've been playing. So I think now it's time to wrap things up here. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. Whether you're here live Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys, or you catch us Wednesdays on podcast apps or over at youtube.com/supergamerboys. We appreciate you everywhere. Oh, by the way, freaking YouTube blowing up. We
going
are
crazy, doing numbers.
So it was a little bit of a bummer this morning to check in, but last night I checked and we are up to 431 subs. Literally in the past week, we've gotten what's that? 10 or 12 new subs. I don't know where they came from. Just out of nowhere. Amazing. So thank you so much for subbing over there. That was last night. And then this morning I checked in. Man. This morning I checked in again to see if it went up anymore. And we're actually back to 429. So it's like 2 people unsubbed overnight. I'm like, dang it. But
that's still more than we had.
It's still more than we have. It's still incredible.
We're
growth.
almost literally a third of the way there now.
Whoa, we are so close. On the road to 500 here by the end of the year. So we're getting close. If you're not subbed, please think about dropping that sub below. If you're watching on youtube.com/supergamerboys. And if you know anyone else who might be interested, send the link to them, have them sub. Even if they're not interested, just be like, hey, sub to this channel and support
real quick
because they're cool people. You can also support us. You can support us for free by doing that. That'd be great. Sub on YouTube. You can also support us with a little cashola over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. It's $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad free. You can get that little merch store discount. You get a few perks. We talked about it during the ad, so go check out the Patreon. Sorry, I lost what I was talking about. Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. We got some cool content. We appreciate it if you support us. And then the big one, sgbstore.com. We've exhausted the topic this episode, but that's because we're so friggin' hyped. We got a new store and some new merch. So please go over to sgbstore.com.
Yeah, baby.
Buy the t-shirts. We got it in black and white. We got it in color. We got it in swim shorts. We got it in hats. We got it in cups. We got so much merch coming out the wazoo. We got a pin set. We got another cup. We got a cup that looks even cooler than this one. This one looks sick. We got it all. We got stuff for the kiddos. If you have a small child in your life, buy them some merch. We got some t-shirts. Actually, what's funny is this hat, I accidentally bought the extra small size, so this doesn't fit me at all. This is very tiny. But it fits
give it to the boys.
It fits my kids perfectly. So they got a sweet hat for the pool. Rate and review us where you can. You can go over to Apple Podcast, over on Spotify, drop that 5 stars, leave a little review. That would be awesome. We very much appreciate that. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. You can find them over on Apple Music and Spotify. Find the links down below, or just search for them. It's easy enough to type that in over on Apple Music, Spotify. Add them to your playlist. Show them some love. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the people find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere on the internet at Homeboy.
And that's it. That's all I got. So Adrian, would you mind taking us out?
Sure thing, folks. Thank you for hanging out with us for another episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, just like Garrett said, we appreciate any and all support, whether that's watching, listening, buying merch, donations, subs, you name it. It all helps us to continue to do what we love to do, which is making this here podcast for you and allowing us to hang out and talk about the vidges, or having a reason to record it anyway, because we would have done it regardless. So
that's true.
We appreciate your continued support. And yeah, that'll do it. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Happy National Video Game Day. Go play a game. Hurry up. There's still time.
Go play games. You have 15 minutes. You got like an hour. You got a long time. You got a couple hours. Go play video games.